and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good morning, everybody.
Morning.
Welcome. Call the meeting to order. Anything to go on the agenda?
Okay, I'll make that motion to approve the agenda.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Approve the minutes, February 5th.
If they're looking through them, look correct, motion to approve.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Oh, carried. Claims.
I looked through them, and if I had the right numbers, I got for general 280,309.56, 280,309.56. Drainage is 51,710.00, 51,710.00.
I see that myself. Motion second.
Any discussion on them? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, general public concerns. Nobody here for that? If not, Susie, you're up.
Good morning.
Morning.
I am here on behalf of the River Development Group to ask this Board of Supervisors to retain ownership of Reeder Dam and to ask that the Conservation Board continue their management. The River Group does not want to own the dam. Their goal is to revitalize Lake Nokomis. The way to save the lake is to save the dam. We're not looking for money. We're just asking that you come to the table for a conversation and to share ideas. We would like to work with the county, conservation, and the city of Humboldt with the common goal to restore beautiful waterway and the lake that we have here in Humboldt County. I sent emails containing just some information and agencies that might be helpful. I know there's a lot more to be found. And I have been told that Nate from the DNR will be coming for a meeting later this month. We do not have all the answers, and we don't exactly know how this is even going to go, but we all made a commitment to try. And the River Group is passionate about this. And I know in my heart, if we all work together with the same goal and the good and generous people of Humboldt County, we can make this happen. By restoring the lake, improving the mill race and the safety of the dam, this recreation will be added attraction to go along with our trails, parks, campgrounds, and the new bridge. Future generations will appreciate all of our hard work. And we are brainstorming for the Rutland Dam also. So I appreciate you listening, and thanks for your time.
Thank you, Susie.
Thanks, Susie.
Susie.
Thank you.
Anything else on the dam?
We just need to talk about it.
Yep.
And see what we can come up with. And I don't know, is there a conservation meeting coming up soon?
Next week, I believe.
Next week, third Wednesday, 5 o'clock.
Maybe they will let me talk then too.
You just gotta get on their agenda.
Just go over there and get on their agenda.
We're still looking for 2 people from the conservation board to get together, so we can sit down.
Yeah, if we could just sit down, that'd be great.
Are we? Not to switch gears, but are we still looking for somebody for Randy?
Yes,
For Board of Adjustment.
Yeah.
Board of
Yeah.
Adjustment.
Just one, or we still got need 2?
Just one short.
One, isn't it?
One, all right.
Yeah, that's what I thought, it was just one.
Zoning is full board now, we just need the zoning or planning and
Okay,
Board of Adjustment, we need one.
Rick, see if you can find somebody down in Arizona that wants to be on our board.
Well, I don't know if they want to drive to Iowa for the weather, even though
Right
it has
now, it's beautiful.
been a
up
little
here.
cool
How
down
you
here too.
Well, just a reminder out there, if anybody's interested in,
Yes,
we can get you the material and
Yeah.
get you set up.
a good point.
Help us
Have a good
out a lot.
Yeah. Get moving forward.
Okay, moving on down, is Ben out there?
No, I didn't see him
I think
then.
so.
I'll text him.
You're here for Kyle?
I was listening to the dam information.
Okay, all right.
I'll just start getting myself involved a little bit more with that by now.
You're welcome. Welcome to.
I can add a little bit to that. We found out through the DNR that for grants and stuff, it has to be owned by the county. Out of 501. Some grants you can get as a private entity, others you can't get. So,
Yeah, there's a lot of information out there still to be found, I think.
right,
But that is definitely one that we found out, and the gentleman that I spoke to, that, Dusty Coley from down at Homeland Security, that was one of the things that he really stressed was that we would have by far more opportunities to get state and federal money if it stays county money.
He was one of them that came up, wasn't
He's the one who helped organize it. There's 3 other gentlemen that came
he?
up,
Okay,
but he was gonna help me organize the
all right.
meeting.
I think we just gotta look at what long-term is best and what it's gonna cost long-term
Mhm.
and looking out that way. I mean, we've still gotta look out for what's best for Humboldt County and, you know, the cost all along
Right.
there. And that's gonna be a huge thing. down the
And I
road.
mean, when you think about that, long-term maintenance of it, though, I mean, those costs, once it's repaired, those costs will be minimal for a very long time, just kind of.
But it's not even just the repair, it's the dredging, you know what I mean? It's all that, that's, cause that dredging from what, yeah, you know what I mean? That's, and I think that's what we gotta think of and we gotta see what's,
What we can do with
that's,
that.
and that's all I'm gonna, you know, I'm not for or against either way. Hardcore one, you know what I mean? I just, we really gotta think about what's best long-term.
Yep. That's
Well,
what
as
we
far
have.
as I know, it's never been dredged, and I don't think that they're looking to dredge anything. I think they're just looking to try to keep the pool, but
Yeah,
that's for another day, so.
Yeah,
and
Yep.
if we can get the gates replaced, then that's gonna help with stuff, that's all.
yeah.
And it's not gonna build up as much, it's gonna have somewhere to go if we can open those gates.
But from what I understand, to get the gates replaced, the DNR has already said we have to fix the dam. Just shore it up and get it safe, correct?
And that, I think some of that is what Nate's going to be addressing when he comes up for his meeting. And I thought he was hoping to meet with the supervisors.
You know, when that, I haven't heard word.
now from him, so.
I thought maybe like.
Be realistic.
26.
Realistically needs to be talking with the conservation board.
Yeah,
Mhm.
cause they're the
And
managers.
I have, and maybe they've talked with him, I don't know.
No, they won't even come to the table. That's part of our problem. That's- We had no opportunity to visit with them about any of these options.
I think that they were willing to come to the table, but I think there was a lot of people that got kind of rude and demonstrative and, you know, if people really want to work together and be a part of the table, then you've got to, cooler heads need to prevail. And so I don't like it when they're getting trashed and saying that they won't come to the table and they won't do something, because that's not fair. Because they've had a lot of people go after them and not very nice. Not just recently, but even in the past, when this first all started. I mean, there were jobs that were threatened, and that's not right.
And I haven't been a part of this only just the last 2 years. since
Right.
I became a mayor. So
Right.
there's a lot of it that I don't know. And that's part of why I'm trying to help. Because maybe I can be considered a cooler head.
Well, we'll sure give you that,
Yeah,
Susan.
and I do, I appreciate that.
We'll sure give you that.
Really,
Thank you.
That's
Yep.
why we're just wanting 2 people off each board to
Right.
sit down and talk. It's
Yeah.
out everybody in the public with a hot temper
Right.
going after them, so.
And we don't know if we can accomplish it or not. But, I mean, at least if we were to get together and talk and to, you know, research as much as we possibly can and see if we can do something.
thank you.
The best idea that I've heard come from the DNR is to take the silt, put it on the downside of the dam and pack rocks in.
Mhm.
The silt and rocks and just build it up and stretch it way out, so you got a ripple and that dam will never go anywhere.
Yeah.
And that comes
Shore it
from
up.
the DNR, yeah, shore it up.
Short up. And it would give the opportunity too, I mean, for both.
to get the ripples and all that, so. Okay, is Ben's truck out there?
I don't see it.
Well, it does
I did
say,
text
it
him,
does
but I
say,
haven't
session to follow meeting. So
Yeah.
maybe he's looking at the meeting to get over with.
Yeah,
He might be.
Well, move on down to committee report.
All
there
right.
he is.
Well, we're gonna finish up the meeting so you can start yours. How's that sound?
Perfect.
So if we go back to last Tuesday, I had the countywide safety committee meeting here at 8:30 that morning. I want to put a plug in for Ben. He runs a wonderful safety committee meeting.
Yes,
So
he does.
yes, he does. So we got through that in fine shape. Then on Thursday, my man Bruce and I traveled down to Des Moines for the statewide supervisors meeting. And as always, it's very informative, somewhat educational, a lot of different things. I even had a meteorologist speak this year, which I found interesting to a degree.
You know what, well, the
It's fun.
story behind that is, Governor Reynolds and our, Attorney General were, or not Attorney General, our, Lieutenant Governor were supposed to speak.
Oh,
And 2 days before our meeting, they canceled. I don't even know if, I don't even think it was 2 days, and this guy graciously accepted to come and talk to us.
well, yes, that doesn't surprise me.
I
And
know, it doesn't surprise me either.
as weather information goes,
It was very, I even found it interesting.
I would say he did a very good job.
Yes, and he had a little bit of humor. It's kind of
He did.
dry.
He
It's
wasn't-
kind of a dry presentation.
It was better than
but-
maybe some of you are obviously old enough to remember Elwin Taylor used to do things like that way back in the day. And this guy was much more entertaining than Elwin even. So he was, that was good. But it was a good meeting
Yeah.
all around. And then, let's see, so I have that. Guess that was the official county stuff that I did last week. So those two things.
Okay, on Monday night, I met with a couple of other supervisors for the juvenile detention issues that we have down there. Just trying to fill in some of the spots where whether you're listening on Zoom or whether you're listening on the phone, it may not have understood. So myself and a couple of the supervisors met. The middle of the road was Pasquale's, so that's where we met for a few pizzas, so.
That's a huge hot topic.
Yeah, it was. And then on Thursday, I went to Des Moines there. I guess my one question I really wanted to ask that guy that talked about the weather was the difference between the El Nino and El Nino
El Nino, El
El
Nino.
Nino.
was, what did they used to call it when it was just dry?
Oh.
I mean,
Drought.
we come up with all these terms, but it's like, it's just dry.
Yeah.
But they can show these weather patterns and they dip and they were, and
Yeah,
who knows?
what is it, 188 months now? It's been since, and it's 1954 to 57 was the last long drought.
54 was the driest year,
Yeah,
and this year's drier than that.
yeah,
And it was, as the media reports, that was the driest or the hottest year on record, but they only go back into the 50s, so it isn't like we're hot. It was hot, so, you know, we get through it. But I'm not a real believer in all of the hoopla that they want to sell, but it was. And then I have to pat somebody on the back for when the lady at the end started,
Kelly Garcia.
when she started telling us about that they're doing this and this and this, and then she made a comment about nursing homes, and someone got a little feisty, or, you know, that's really not what we got. We lost both ours in Humboldt, and she was, you know,
Yeah.
didn't really know what to,
Yeah,
and I don't know. I think Des Moines is Des Moines. They don't really, and I'm not meaning this mean, but they don't really give a rip about
No.
what goes on in some of these smaller
Rest of the
counties.
state.
Yeah.
And as long as everything is good in Des Moines, we'll throw a few
Yeah.
dollars your way to keep you quiet.
Yeah,
And that really irks me. It's kind of
me too.
same way when I pay my estimates to the federal government, and next thing I see is billions going somewhere else, and we got enough issues here, so I'll
Right.
shut up.
Nope,
I kind of wonder if that's why the governor never showed up, because she didn't want to have that conversation.
I think you're right, Rick.
I'm
He
sure
just
that's what.
conveniently always has something to do when the county officials meet. She never shows up.
Yeah.
But when she launched that, I don't know, threw that can of gas out, there were several, Sandy wasn't the only one.
Yeah.
There were several
No, she
hands that
wasn't.
went up in the air
Yeah.
that, you know what? We've lost the same way. We're without nursing homes. We got people that are driving 40, 50 miles to try to find a place to. And
And of the 100 people that were displaced, 3 of them have passed away. And most of it is the ones that were farther out. So what does that tell you? Family couldn't come as much, and you know, it's kind of like during COVID, if they didn't necessarily always die of COVID, they died of loneliness. And that we gotta look out for, not enough people realize we gotta look out for our aging population. Let's face it, we're gonna be there pretty soon.
I know.
Not pretty soon, but
That's
I
scary.
mean, we're getting older, we're not old. How's that?
Thanks, Andy.
You know, and I think we can't, they shouldn't be a forgotten society. And I do truly feel that that's kind of where things are going. And like you said, Des Moines, granted, maybe they have, their big push is that they're going to have so many facilities when all of us baby boomers and that are gone. Well, that could be 20, 30 years from now. And the rural areas have the bigger population of aging. So why are you taking away from them? They just need to think about their Medicaid and their big push is to go to, what was it, 37 departments down to 17? Wasn't that what it was? Something like that. So they're combining all these agencies, and Kelly Garcia doesn't have a clue. She came from Texas. And I'm telling you, Texas's mental health and aging population is nothing to stand on. I mean, and what she thinks is gonna work for the bigger areas does not work for rural. And that's what I don't get. Texas is full of rural areas too. So I'm sure they, you know, I'm sure they forgot about them too. And that's where they're going and why they think this is the big thing to, oh, we're gonna save all this money. Well, all the money you're gonna save, then let's put it into services. It's just like mental health, put it into services. You know, she was going on about that the regions did such a bad job. It wasn't that we did a bad job. You can't get psychiatrists, you can't get therapists, clinicians, any of that. I mean, we're lucky that we were able to get them at, I don't know if you read the good article on the Humboldt County, the mental health on their board meeting, but I mean, I know I'm getting on my soapbox again, but anyway, it's hard to get people. So it isn't that I don't feel the regions failed. Could we have done a better job? Possibly, but you got to be able to get the people to come to these areas and to work. And so we've got to, again, find things that if we can't get the activities or whatever it is in our areas, then we've got to, and I hate to say it this way, sometimes money talks. The old saying, and money talks and bullshit walks. And that's where we're at right now. So I've got a nephew that's graduated as a psychiatrist, and I'm talking my little heart out trying to get him to come to Iowa. And he's in Chicago. Chances of that.
More money in Chicago.
Well, and things to do. They're young.
Yeah.
You know, he's, I don't know, what is he, 20 something, 28, I don't know. You know what I mean? They want things to do. They like that excitement. Then when they start having kids, then it's like, okay, maybe the excitement isn't so great anymore. But I got really upset when she was blaming everything on the regions, because I think we worked very hard to try to get things going.
my own personal feeling was that she thought she kind of lulled us all to sleep, and then she threw that out. And it was like, hands went up like, you probably shouldn't have touched that nerve, because there was a lot of people that said, that's not right.
Yeah, they didn't
I mean,
she didn't read the crowd at all.
No,
And I think that's part of the, and that's the other part of the problem is we've got to get our rural legislators to start voting with what the people truly want, not with what the governor wants. And, we've got to stand up for our areas. We can't just kowtow and, okay, you want that? Okay, we'll do it. Okay, shut up, Sandy. All right, I'm done. I'm off. Tuesday night, they had a really interesting wind meeting out at, Hundermark Auction.
Oh, I forgot I went to that too.
And yep, that was really good. I learned a lot. And then I had to go down to Des Moines on Wednesday the 7th because I had an education meeting. And that's when I found out the governor wasn't gonna be there. I was kind of ready. And then I was at the ISAC meeting on Thursday. All day. That's it.
That's it.
That's it. That's all I got.
Rick, you got anything?
No, I was gone this week, so.
Okay. Tuesday, I had safety meeting up here. And then Thursday, I was down to Des Moines to the ISAC meeting. Learned a lot, kind of disappointed. I thought they was gonna hit him at Domain a little harder there at the end, and then gals started talking. I think they took all the time up, so.
I'm with Dave, I'd rather actually heard about them in the Domain,
Well, that's what I wanted to hear about.
because it actually, I think it was even written on the agenda.
It was, but
It was hot, yeah, hot topics, and that is, yeah.
I think that Director Garcia said what she wanted to say, not necessarily what we wanted to hear.
Right.
and we
But
had
it did need to be said. It needed to get out in the public, because the more people that realize what's really going on, they've got to
They need to talk to the
inundate.
legislators too.
They need, that's what I'm saying. The public needs to inundate the legislators. I mean, that's what it's gonna take. It's gonna take all the citizens getting together and just saying, hey, this is crap. You've got to start thinking about us, not what you want down in Des Moines. So, yes, it did take a long time, but come in March, it'll be on there again.
Oh, yeah.
So we're having our statewide, or not statewide,
Yeah.
spring conference, not statewide, but spring conference in March. So I really highly recommend everybody going down to that too. We've got some good speakers too then.
Dave, the other thing Sean Phillips said, past week at the Dakota City, City Hall, city meeting, they had a lot of talking from people about the drainage. And Sean said, I told them to write their either approve or disapprove and get it to us, so that whenever we set that hearing and whatnot. So there is still an
to a
interest.
lot of people. I've talked to a lot of people and citizens that they are
Worried.
against it. They don't want that to go in, or, well, they want it to go in, but they don't want it at that cost.
Well, then they could join the problem during these.
Like I told them, for 50 years, I've watched that school ground flood over there. Every time we get a heavy rain, why it floods, and some days it stays there for 2 or 3 days before it all goes down.
Mhm.
So.
Oh, that's a good point.
Well, I just reminded him, I said, we're just the people
We're the
that when someone
trustees.
comes with a petition, we listen. So
Mhm.
we didn't go out doing this ourselves.
No,
Right.
no, they're all on the city. They're the ones that requested it, so. Okay, anybody got anything else to come before the board?
Nope.
Nope, if not, entertain a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, carried. 8:55.